How's it going? Isomolar here. Welcome. Finally, as promised, rank up and gameplay video for Guardian is finally here. Sorry everybody, I've been busy with schoolwork. I had an exam and I'm glad that's done and over with, so I can finally share my experience with him. And if this video gets 5 likes, I will upload a maxed out SIG 200 565 showcase of some of the more troublesome fights where Guardian does really well. But for now guys, I just want to thank everyone for their support. It's been a really cool experience making all of these videos and I really enjoy it. I love sharing my experience with MCOC and will continue to do so. So just thank you to everyone. So here we're taking him up to rank 3. I think it's pretty, I want to see his damage output, his utility at this rank, because most people can get him as a 4-star and take him, max him out and bring him to Cavalier, and use him for those pesky Dominos and pesky electros. So I think I want to just showcase what he can do at rank 3, and I will be doing so by taking him to Cavalier monthly event quest, chapter 1, where it's the tech chapter. I don't really pay attention too much to the tech node. Something about armor up. If you drain the person below a bar of power, you gain a fury, but I don't really know guys. Maybe Red School can be really good. I hope Kabam changes that. I know some people have been complaining. But Guardian, he looks so cool, man. His design is just really awesome. The glowing, everything about him. He's quickly becoming one of my favorite champs to play. I think he makes the tech class that much better. He brings a lot of things to the tech class that no one else does. But to start off with guys, he has a Forcefield charge he gains every 12 seconds. The yellow buff, not really buff, but that yellow charge you see there, he gains 3 of them are for permanent. And ideally, I didn't do it here, but ideally you would want to wait about those 36 seconds to get the 3 permanent force field buffs, because his first 3 are permanent and before popping your SP3, because your SP3 will give you 6 permanent force field charges. But if you wait, you'll have 9. You see I have 9 now, but it's falling down, and you want to keep these charges because that's where his damage output is. But yeah, so you want to build up your force field charges and pop your SP2 for that crazy damage that you saw in the beginning. I wanted to see what a SIG level 1 rank 1 Guardian can do to Winter Soldier. Yeah, it took like 500 hits, but you know what? I think like 5-star can do that fight. Like so crazy, and I can't wait to do it. And I'll maybe post a video or something on it. But yeah, so right now I have 10, and you see look at that damage output, guys. Just with 10, we're talking about a rank 3 here. A 5-star could have definitely just knocked him out there. So you would have just done a SP3, SP2, fight's over. But it's just we're trying to showcase what rank 3 Guardian can do. And the attack values for the Cavalier monthly quest, they're not all that low, so you see that he's doing really well in terms of his health. You might have to pop a few potions to him, but I don't think it's really necessary if you have other champs. But since I'm trying to do this whole lane just with Guardian, yeah, you don't need to use those potions. But his signature ability is called Weapon Alpha. You saw there, it was pretty simple fight, just rinsing him down with an SP2. But his signature ability is Weapon Alpha, and as long as Guardian has an armor effect, he gains all these, really crazy actually effects, such as block proficiency, energy resistance, bleed resistance, and critical damage resistance. I think Guardian is suicide friendly because of the bleed resistance, and since you're just popping SP3s, you gain your force field charges and you'll pop your SP2 and the opponent will probably die and you won't take any recoil damage. So he's definitely suicide friendly. I do have suicides not on at the moment, and I'm not sure if I will turn them on just for Guardian, because I have so many champs that are not suicide friendly, like Nick Fury, that I use on a daily basis. So I definitely will still want to use Nick Fury. But here guys, I wanted to try a different rotation. I wanted to go with the SP1 followed by the SP2. The SP1s, they give you, I believe they give you 3 force field charges, and they're consumable, so they're not permanent. And they also put a taunt on the opponent, which can be really helpful for the all or nothing node, or when the opponent is just being very stingy. I don't think SP1's the way to go in longer fights. I think if you're using a maxed out Guardian in the Cavalier monthly event quest, then SP1 might be the way to go, followed by SP2. Otherwise, I think waiting out those 36 seconds and then popping SP3 followed by the SP2 is probably the best rotation, especially if you are running suicides. So what makes him really good? In this path, there's gonna be a Domino. I wanted to see if I can take down with this rank 3. And keep in mind guys, he is Sig 140, and the more Sigs you put, the greater the energy resistance and the block proficiency and the critical damage resistance is. And all this means guys is that if he gets hit, he's gonna survive. You know, we're talking about hits from like Variant and Act 6. He's gonna survive, and what makes him really unique is the energy resistance. I don't have anybody in my roster right now to counter Electro, to counter Act 6, Dominoes, and Guardian does it. You know, what makes Namor so good is that he can reflect the damage back. Well, Guardian, although he doesn't reflect it back, he actually resists it. He resists the damage taken by Electro because of the energy resistance. And something that I found that Namor kind of lags is that if you can't hit into the opponent's block for some reason, then he's not he's taking damage. Say the opponent is about to hit SP3, you can't hit magic because of a limbo. You push her to an SP3, then you're taking a lot of damage. Well, Guardian doesn't care. He just chills and he takes almost no damage back at Sig 200. So he does need a high Sig, guys. But you know what? He's still really fun to play without the signature ability, and I would still rank him up without the Sig ability. But definitely awaken him, and taking him up is really good for him. But you see here I have Skullgirl, you know, just rinsing her down. They're longer fights, but you know, he is rank 3, it is Cavalier, you know, uncollected. I think they'll be down in an SP1 and SP2, they'll probably be down. But I wanted to see how he fares here. He's doing really well, you know, I'm at 85%. I've gone through a couple of fights here. Another thing that Guardian has that, you know, was very useful against the Darkhawk fight, and that's gonna prove very helpful against the Apocalypse fight, is that if he parries one of the hits in any special, the next 2 hits are perfect block. So that is so crazy, man. So I think it says if he has an armor buff, all-time blocks against special attacks give him 100% perfect block chance over 0.5 seconds, which is I think like 2 hits after that approximately, and it grants him 10% bar of power, and that's insane. He can, you know, cycle through those SP3s quicker, cycle through those SP1s quicker, and it makes him more of a tank. He's already a tank with that armor buff, but with that perfect block, it's just he can take, you know, Apocalypse's SP1 for days, and Darkhawks and other annoying specials that you have to block, like maybe even I don't know, possibly Mr. Sinister's SP2. But yeah, it's just a great ability to have. And this Sabretooth here, we'll see if we can out damage that region But I'm loving Guardian. His SP3 is so cool. Look at that, man. You know, I love the Canadian theme. I just wished, I don't know if there's like a Guardian thing to Canada. There probably is, guys. My history is pretty not the best. But hey, you know, I really wish they would have called him something else, because we do have a red Guardians and it can be kind of confusing sometimes. But in the fact that Guardian's also red themed because of Canada, it makes it even a bit, you can get kind of confused with red Guardian. But nonetheless, I love him. He is easily one of my top 3 favorite champs to play. If not, you know, he's really creeping up there. But you know, he just brings so much to the table, and one of the synergies he has that he just automatically helps the entire team is he gives everybody a 1000 block proficiency, and that is huge, man, especially for Act 6 and variant. That is so crazy that nobody else does in this game. It makes a lot of people more viable to play with in that end game content. But here we hit an SP3, and you know, Sabretooth is just regenerating a lot of it, so we're gonna see how much damage we can do. But besides that, Guardian has this thing where if you lower his ability accuracy, and look at that, man, just rinsed him down with less than 20 Forcefield charges. What a good fight. But yeah, Guardian has this thing where if you lower his ability accuracy, the opponent gets a shock debuff, and that shock debuff is pretty potent. So here, Domino. I don't have a Domino counter. I used to just rinse her down with Ghost, but Ghost is, you know, not the best for this, for Domino, because sometimes your miss sometimes your phase does not work. But you see here, I'm taking almost no damage from her critical failure, and we're talking about a Sig 140 Guardian here. Look at that, almost no damage. That is, we love to see that. And you see she has a shock debuff because of she's lowering my ability accuracy. So Guardian is just so good. He's a tech champ, so he counters Domino. He can always evade that SP1, you know, without having to worry about getting hit by it because of the unlucky. And also his SP2 cannot be evaded if he's going up against a, you know, I believe a mutant champ. Yeah, his SP2 can be evaded, so so I'm not worried about throwing SP2 when Domino's about to go up a bar of power, because, you know, you hate it when you throw your SP, Domino hits lucky, she evades one of the blasts and just punches you and just destroys you. But you see here, I am rinsing her down. My health bar is looking really healthy, and you know, guys, he's barely saving 40. He's taking down his Domino. Kind of stuck in the corner here, and see if I can showcase this. Alright guys, look at this, a power drain here with my light. So if you do 5 lights, it power drains the opponent, and it just consumes one of your Forcefield charges. So Guardian definitely has a lot of utility, but what makes him very special is the energy resistance and the ability to just be a tank and have unlimited damage potential, pretty much, because it doesn't say anything about capping the Forcefield charges. And the fact that he's such a tank, it makes him viable to play. But yeah, we're rinsing down this Domino. She is going down slowly, and these Forcefield charges are just putting in a lot of work. I'm not even worried about her crit failure, you know, I'm at 60%, and I do want to max him out eventually. He's not really a prestige rank up, he's not terrible, I think he's like in the 20s or something. But yeah, she goes down 89 hits, and you love to see that you can take down Domino without having to pump in a lot of the resources there, like potions. But this next fight is a fight that I was looking forward to. Apocalypse can be extremely annoying, especially when he gets like immunities. I don't know how it works exactly, but I know if you apply a few debuffs, he just becomes immune to them after like 2 or 3 times, which can be pretty troublesome to rinse him down because he's got such a massive health pool. But here the name of the game is try not to have him hit into my block, because see if I can do it here. So I'm trying to parry his blast and I'll get perfect block for the rest of the SP1. But here I'm not trying to have him hit into my block because he can stun me, and that's pretty much game over, especially with the rank 3. I think a rank 5 can take a combo to the face, but you know, as a rank 3 you don't have that much health, and that perfect block from the SP1 is going to come in clutch. So let's see if I can perfect block it here. Okay, no, it's a little tricky to do just because the blast is a little bit slower. Okay, so I kind of got close there. You just gotta get the timing right. So let's see here. I was trying to do the repair method there, it didn't work. But yeah, you see that he's you know, even though I'm just taking out the block damage, he's still really good. I evaded his SP1 before, but it's a little tricky to do and I need more practice. I can fully evade it, but I definitely gotta practice more, and I wasn't about to just throw away this fight for me trying to evade it. Otherwise I would try. But yeah, you can. Apocalypse is going down slowly here, and you see I'm surviving, and there it is. I perfect block, and you know, those next two, the other hit of that SP1, I take 0 damage, and there it is. I'm getting the hang of it here, and you see, you know, I'm taking almost no damage from that SP1. There we go, man. Taking about 1% health. You love to see it. And I think it's gonna be an ability that it's gonna come in very, very clutch in certain situations. I think Sunspot, right? He can also perfect block as long as the opponent has an incinerate, but you have to parry the first hit, and that's not always possible. For example, like Iron Man you can parry the first hit, so I mean, you can dodge his SP1, it's not the hardest. But say for some reason, you know, you slip up or you don't want to slip up or something, you can just parry it with Guardian and you'll have perfect block for the rest of those 2 platinum blasts. But here, Apocalypse has such a big health pool, I just want to build up my Forcefield charges, and like I said before, those 6 Forcefield charges are permanent, so I got 12 plus the 3, so I have 15 permanent charges right now, and every 12 seconds I am gaining another one, although it is gonna fall off. Another thing that Guardian has that is really useful, and look at that, guys, you know, 2 SP3s, that's all he needed. He is down, my health is looking really great, and with that wink at the end, you gotta love that animation. You know, I always get kind of mad when someone takes me down, but when he lifts me up like that, it's just, you know, like, how can you get mad at that? But anyways, guys, he also doesn't crit, and that is so helpful for like Mr. Sinister. And I think there's a node where if you crit, you actually get damage back. I forget what it's called. But regardless, guys, I'm loving Guardian. Here, I'm about to get wrecked with Quake. But if you like this video, please like and subscribe for some more content. Like I said, if this video gets 5 likes, I will post up a maxed out gameplay showing some of the troublesome fights. Otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Peace.